Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Bubala.
And I'm Kai Jackson. Mayoral candidate Sheila Dixon responds to a controversial endorsement today. The fire union throws its support behind Brandon Scott.
I've always felt strongly that fire department, police departments, that those were, and some of the city unions, that they really should stay out of the endorsement process, because who's ever there, who's ever in the leadership wants, have to work with everybody.
Well, the union support of Mayor Scott is an about face for the group. It has been very critical of the Scott administration surrounding funding, call volumes, and staffing shortages in recent years. Frustration on display in 2022 when first responders could be heard complaining over the fire department's radio communications.
For the third time, we told you we are out of service per EMS2 for relief. I'm completely prepared to tell my driver to disembark, and I will drive this thing into their heart.
Now, last year, union leaders blamed staffing shortages when only a fire truck showed up after a father called 911 while his son was having a seizure. Officials say no ambulances were available.
We only have 28 units to respond to emergencies in Baltimore City on any given day. And sometimes that's even less with staffing crisis that we have.
Our city not just failed my son, they failed us as taxpayers, us as parents.
And less than 2 weeks ago, the union took issue with Mayor Scott's allotment of pandemic relief money, saying the department hasn't received any ARPA dollars despite submitting a request. Fox 45 News pressed union leaders about that.
About a week and a half ago, you told my colleague you were frustrated that the fire department still hadn't gotten any money from ARPA to help with improvements. How do you square the difference between hearing those frustrations a week and a half ago and now standing with the mayor to endorse him?
It was a communication breakdown. I feel like I didn't realize that those funds were being worked on at the time. And now that I know that that's why we have those funds available, and the mayor's working hard to give us a lot of those ARPA money. So it's definitely going to help us out.
Well, Sheila Dixon is calling the endorsement a political move from the mayor.
It's very clear the city council thought about the fire department when they transferred the money. Now we're 2 months away from an election and everything. And so the mayor's finally working for his agencies and the citizens of Baltimore. So the voters have to make decisions and choices. And it's very clear that he's fighting to keep his job.
Well, Dixon also responded to an email to Baltimore County firefighters encouraging them to attend today's endorsement announcement. Now, in that email sent on Friday, the county fire union referred to Dixon as, quote, a mutt of a past mayor. Fox 45's Keith Daniels obtained that internal email. He joins us live now with the fallout. Keith?
Well, Kai, it's a situation for some observers that takes a closer look at the saying, words matter, and tonight it's one word in an email. Baltimore City firefighters endorsing Mayor Brandon Scott. Union leaders not shy about lodging criticism at Scott's rival, Sheila Dixon.
One candidate on the ballot was mayor previously for almost a full term before resigning due to a criminal conviction for perjury and embezzlement.
Joshua Fannin, president of the city's Fire Officers Union, digging deep. In fact, before the announcement Monday, there was an email Friday. An email sent by Fannin to Baltimore County's Fire Union president, John Sabega, who shared it with his members. An email obtained by Fox 45 News. Fannin inviting members of the Baltimore County Firefighters Union to Monday's event. It reads in part, the Baltimore locals are engaged in an epic struggle this election year 2024 between a fire department friendly incumbent and a mutt of a past mayor. Dixon referred to as a mutt. The word triggering reaction from some county fire members, including one member, a veteran who wants to remain anonymous, but speaking out.
As a black woman, I was floored that my local union sent out something so offensive. I guess as a woman, it kind of puts me in the terms of thinking of, first of all, a mutt tends to be an undesirable dog. And then on top of that, it reminded me of the word. Like, it's a derogatory term that just like, it's just offensive in general to call a black woman a undesirable in a sense.
We reached out to Sabega and Fannin. Sabega saying he only shared the email, didn't write it. Fannin says he meant no harm, only used the word commonly used in the fire service.
Which is a mutt is someone or thing that will abuse and mistreat a firefighter. And that would be the only consideration that I would have in using it in any day speech, and in particular in that email.
Still, Dixon,
We need to be working together no matter if someone supports you or not.
takes issue with that term being used to describe her.
Again, to me, it's more derogatory, and I just believe in taking the high road. Oh, clearly, I would have used a different term. I mean, I would have focused on your candidate that you support and why you support him, and left it at that.
Well, I asked Fannin, since knowing now that the word can have a different meaning among some firefighters, would he use a different word? Or rather, would he use a different word? He said no. He said he would continue to use that word because, by definition, he said, the word can be used. We're live tonight. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.